We are podcastvideoscom. Our goal is to educate, enlighten, engage, and entertain. We believe in the power of love and transformation through storytelling. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I am Bang, and we are back with another episode of Story Scaling. I am here with a special Meet the Team series. Today we have
Brooke Galligan. I am the director of studio innovations here at podcastvideoscom. So it's been kind of fun to be here.
Brooke, welcome.
Thank you.
You have been here for how long?
I've been here, this is 4 weeks. So I've made it an entire month.
Does it feel longer or shorter than 4 weeks?
It does feel like it doesn't feel like a long time, but it feels like we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot done in like 4 weeks.
I agree. I think because of the work that we've been able to accomplish, it feels like you've been here longer than 4 weeks. Like, this is just now me realizing, like, oh, wow, you've only been here a month.
Yeah, it's been like 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got here.
I got here 10 years ago. Okay. I walked into White Spider and started working with Eric Howerton back then. I stayed with White Spider for 10 years, and just recently I've moved over from there over here to podcast.
Right on.
Yeah.
So before White Spider, we're gonna go back a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you think you would be doing? Are you living the dream right now with studio innovations, or like say when you were in school, what did you think you would be doing at this point?
I went to school to be a photojournalist.
Okay.
So I wanted to be a newspaper photographer, and I wanted to work at a national newspaper like the Washington Post or New York Times and do photography and like tell people stories. So it's not that far off because we're still storytelling. It's still what I get to do, and I really enjoy doing that. But as far as like the photography portion of it, no, I don't really do the photography anymore.
I once heard you say you wanted to do war photography.
I did. I wanted to go to war zones. I thought that'd be really fun. I wanted to travel to war zones and just get, just capture, just be in the action and just kind of see what was going on and like see it firsthand and capture it with my photography.
Like the stuff
you could tell the world.
The stuff we see in books, like people.
Yeah.
You wanted to be.
I wanted to do that. I'm like, hey, take your picture. Yeah, I did. I know. I was like, I thought that'd be so exciting.
It's intense.
It is. And my mom is so happy that I'm doing this now and not war photography.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
So you actually did work at the paper for a while.
Mm-hmm. I worked at the Northwest Arkansas Times, which is a local newspaper here in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah. And I worked there for about 7 years. So I moved here in 2003, and that's what I did. I was a daily newspaper photographer.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Was that like? It was a new paper every day, obviously, right? So was that like stressful? Was it a lot of pressure?
It was a lot of stress when you were there because you had to like get all the stuff, and it could sometimes be a long day because you had to finish what you were doing before you could leave because it was a daily newspaper. But you knew once you left work, you didn't have to go back. So it was kind of nice. Like you do the work, you get your work done, and then you leave, and then you didn't have to think about it until you came back the next day.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, you didn't take your work home with you. You didn't, you didn't have to worry about it once you left, which was nice. Right. Different than, like typical corporate jobs where, you can stop at a project and then pick it back up the next day. You basically had to get all your photos in, and then and then once you're done, you're like, all right, now I'm out.
Yeah. But I imagine like some holiday work probably.
Oh yeah. I worked. I was the single young person in my 20s, so I always worked every Christmas. So I didn't see my parents on Christmas for 7 years.
What?
Yeah, I worked every Christmas, and then I worked a lot of Thanksgivings, and I worked. They always gave me New Year's Day off, so that was nice because I was the young one. But no hot
chocolate and fuzzy socks.
Yeah, no, there was no, it was work, yeah.
Dang.
Like Christmas Day, you just drive around looking for people that are playing with their Christmas toys, like in the driveway. Yeah. So if it was a really cold Christmas, it was rough. I spent a lot of my Thanksgivings and Christmases at the Salvation Army because they always do the big meal for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so we would go and like take pictures and hang out and interview people and find stories. And then they would always feed us. So my Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners was usually at the Salvation Army.
Right on.
Yeah.
So tell me about you. You brought up a good point. You were storytelling back then through the newspaper.
Yeah.
Fast forward, you left the paper when?
2009.
So what? Fast forward roughly 15 or so years later, now things have, the paper is obviously still around.
Yep.
But now people tell stories more digitally and online. And so what are some of the similarities, I guess, in how things used to operate then and how you went about it, and some of the differences in how we communicate and share those stories now in your experience? You know?
Yeah. In my experience, it's just broader. It's like it's everywhere, and it's so specialized. Like, we covered all of like Northwest Arkansas. And so, and it didn't matter. Like, we weren't allowed to talk about like our political views. We weren't allowed to talk about, just kind of, we had to be really neutral. Like, you weren't allowed to talk about, like your stance on political issues or like big issues like that. You weren't really allowed to talk about any of that because you had to remain neutral. And so, so everybody would trust you as like a neutral source. You're just stating the facts and you're telling the story. And so I feel like it's very different now because you can really go out there and have like a polarized view, and then you're you're really only talking to the audience that agrees with you instead of just trying to talk to everybody. And so I think that's one of the main differences.
I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, I can totally see
we
that.
weren't allowed to have political signs in our yard. Like, we weren't. Yeah, you had to stay neutral.
But that makes sense to me though, because the second that you sway one way or another, now you kind of alienate yourself from a whole entire group. Yeah. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, we have a farm.
Okay.
And this is the part where if Eric hears this, he's rolling his eyes right now. I talk about my farm all the time. But we started a farm in like 2016.
Okay.
And so, but we live on 17 acres in West Fork, Arkansas, and we basically we grow vegetables. And so we have, a bunch of, we have greenhouses and then a bunch of land, and we'll grow, tomatoes and sweet potatoes and, lots of carrots and beets and other root crops and peppers. And so, but that's what we do. And that's, we spend a lot of time doing that. That's what I do a lot on the weekends. I also, I love puzzles. So in the winter, I'll sit in with some puzzles. We got a puppy in 2020, and the first thing that she did was chase the cat, and they would just knock my puzzles off. So I don't do as many now, but I love puzzles and stuff like that. And then I also do photography just on the side. I enjoy that, and then hanging out with the family.
Yeah. What can you learn from gardening? Like, what's a lesson that a person can learn from gardening? Because I also knew you had a garden, but I had no idea that you started in 2016.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time.
It was a long time. Yeah. I think what I learned from the gardening so much is there's a lot that goes into dirt. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. And so, like, my husband will talk about dirt and for, like, hours. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. That's, like, dirt.
Because I imagine, like, the soil has to be a certain temperature or have certain minerals in it. And, like, all these different things.
And, like, to prepare it, you have to, like, so if you grow, like, a certain vegetable on it, you have to, like, rest it. Or you have to grow something else to put the other, because, like, they have minerals in it, that the other ones took out of the dirt. And so, and then there's, like, you have to kill all the weeds, and you have to put we have like blankets that we put over it, like heat blankets or whatever, and it's just crazy. Like, there's just a lot of he tries to do no-till, I guess soil management. I don't even know what it's called, but yeah. So we it's like I was just really surprised at how much goes into like dirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna switch into a segment called Overrated or Underrated.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a word or a phrase.
All right.
And all you have to do is tell me if this is overrated or underrated. Okay?
Okay.
Cereal.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Overrated. I don't like cereal.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I don't drink a lot of milk, so I don't like cereal.
Cereal. Overrated.
Overrated.
Coffee.
Overrated. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea.
Okay.
Underrated.
I'm a tea drinker. Tea is underrated.
Tea is underrated.
I'm a tea drinker. Okay. Yep. Cereal, overrated. Coffee, overrated. Sports.
Overrated.
Overrated.
They put way too much money into sports.
Cereal, coffee, and
everything is
overrated. Okay.
Sports. They put way too much money into sports. Like, they need to put more money into the arts.
You heard it here first. Okay. Christmas.
I think it's people get really excited about Christmas.
So is it overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated. Christmas is overrated.
I do. People get so excited about it, and then I worked Christmases for like 7 years. So, yeah.
So it's really overrated for you.
It is overrated. You can go celebrate with your family at any time, and you don't have to do all the pizzazz. We did when I had my son though, because like I never decorated for Christmas because I was never there, and so when we had my son, like my mom, like she was like, "Are you gonna decorate for Christmas for your baby?" And I was like, "Yes." So we had to start like making a big deal about Christmas, and so we did. We try to like create the traditions and things like that. And now, and so like now, but now he's like 12, so I'm like okay, we can really start dialing it back to the Christmas I want instead of like. Everything, Christmas decorations everywhere, and huge presents and things like that. We definitely, when we give presents, we like to give experiences and not stuff.
Totally.
Because we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I heard someone say, my mom was kind of similar. Once we got about 12, actually, we actually stopped getting a plethora of gifts, and it was more so like very intentional, something to read, something you need and something that you want. So literally probably 2 to 3 things. And then we would adopt a family and, support that family. So what's your favorite holiday? Just curious.
What's my favorite holiday? I always have fun on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not a holiday. I mean, I enjoy having time off work and spending time with families, but yeah, I think Memorial Day, 4th of July, it's always fun. I think we're always done it because it's summer. You're kind of doing some fun stuff. Yeah. And Memorial Day is like the beginning of summer. Yeah. And so I always like those ones.
Okay, so to recap, cereal's overrated, Christmas is overrated, sports are overrated, and coffee's overrated. Last thing, television. Over or underrated?
I'm gonna go underrated.
TV?
I like TV. I like TV shows. Like people there's like people that love to read, and then I love to watch. I like to see the stories visually, even though I know when you read, you like visualize it.
For
stuff,
sure.
But like, but I think TV does get a bad rap, for people are like, it rots your brain. Yeah. So, but I do really enjoy it, especially when you can find like a really good show. And then also like local news is another one. I love seeing the local news on the TV, and so I'm gonna say underrated.
Okay, cool. We got one.
We got one.
TV. What else do we need to know about Brooke?
I don't know. I think I told it all.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a cat person.
Okay.
I like cats.
How many do you have?
I just have one.
Okay.
We have one cat and one dog.
Cat favorite animal? Would you go that far?
Yeah, I really do like cats.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I thought deer were really cute for some reason, and then now that I live on a farm, we don't like deer.
Yeah, I
Get in the garden, eat stuff. Yeah.
Well, look, that's what I got, Brooke. Okay. I appreciate your time. If you want to learn more about Brooke, come to the studio and meet her yourself. She's great. Yay. See you next time.
All right.